Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. This is a mini episode, and I am theming this episode like bad partners, unfortunately, bad husbands. Again, it's just easier to find bad husband stories than it is to find like bad wife stories. So that's just the vibes today, okay? And if that offends you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But we're going to get right into the episode. The title of the first story is My Partner Left Me, so I told everyone that he doesn't have cancer. My partner told me when we first got together that he has cancer, and if his operations don't go well, it could be terminal. He said his treatments have also made him infertile, so imagine our shock and joy when we found out I was expecting at the start of 2024. We now have a beautiful 5-month-old daughter who is perfectly healthy and thriving, and he is in remission. My pregnancy was difficult and lonely because of all the intense treatments he went through while waiting for his operation. I did a lot of my own knowing he desperately I did a lot on my own, knowing he desperately needed this to have the best chance possible of shrinking his tumor before having it removed so we can have a long, happy life together as a family. He is currently living with his mom while he is in recovery so that it takes the pressure of me caring for both him and our baby until he is well enough to move into our new home with us. He still comes to our house and we go to his mom's all the time so our baby isn't missing him. And on Wednesdays, he has his daddy daughter days where it's just the two of them to make sure they're bonding well. And he has the practice until he is well enough to care for her at home full time and gives me a little break too. Last week, we had an attempted break in at the house. I asked him to come over and stay here while I'm waiting for the locks to be changed because I'm scared, but he wouldn't. I was talking to his mom too, who slipped up telling me that he wasn't home. Long story short, this is Reddit. I'm sure that you can see where this is going. We argued for over 24 hours before my suspicions became too much, and I went to Facebook. It took me less than an hour to find the first two women. During my pregnancy, I was suspicious of a lot of things and put it all down to my hormones, as he would continuously tell me that I'm paranoid and hurting him when I ask. One thing my paranoia just wouldn't let up about was his cancer and his treatments. I asked his mom about it, who told me he doesn't have cancer, but he is having treatments. He has an autoimmune disease which he receives transfusions for. Very serious, but nowhere near terminal and no operations required. She also informed me he was in rehab, not the hospital. He was addicted to cocaine and was trying to recover for me and our baby. I never mentioned to him that I knew. I assumed it was just the embarrassment of wanting to get clean without me knowing so he could be a good partner and dad. I was so proud of him for getting that help that I never spoke about it. With his autoimmune disease, his mom explained how brutal it has been for him and that he did have chemo a few years back, so maybe that's why he's confused. Pregnancy brain is a real thing, or maybe I'm just too blindly in love because I'd accepted this and never questioned it again. After discovering the first two women, I sent my partner a message telling him to let his girlfriend know I'm asking after her and not to bother coming home anymore. I've had the locks changed from the break in so he can't get in. He panicked and started begging me to answer the phone and let him come see me so he could explain everything. I started to see everything through clear eyes for the first time and realized how long he had been gaslighting me for and told him no. Realizing he couldn't get through to me and now aware I was trying to contact his girlfriend, he panicked and went to her instead. During that time, I found a photo she had shared of the two of them, and shared it to my profile with the caption, "Can someone please ask this woman to contact me?" She instantly blocked me, but her sister got in touch with me instead. Apparently, the family have never trusted him and knew that something was wrong. This affair is serious enough to have met the family. She says he has told her not to speak to me as I'm deranged stalker he slept with once years ago and have been hunting him down trying to convince people my baby is his. I send her a photo of the birth certificate and us in the hospital together to show her sister before he can lie to her anymore. During this, I am also messaging another woman who is furious at what he has done and is helping me with all the information she is aware of. She tells me he broke her heart by cheating on her without even knowing he was cheating on me too. So far, I have the current timeline. Chemo in March, a 19-year-old. Rehab in April, July. Rehab in April through July, a woman of an appropriate age this time, but also cheating on her. August to now, his 20-year-old girlfriend. I then find out his emergency cancer medication that he had to leave for in the middle of labor was actually the fact my two failed epidurals, screaming in agony, begging the doctors to help because I thought I was dying while the emergency team rushed in to place extra monitors on our baby in distress, was actually just a huge turn on for him, so he needed to go sleep with a 20-year-old before making it back just in time to kiss me before I went into emergency surgery. This was Sunday. It's now Saturday the following week. I made a post on Facebook calling out my partner for his actions with photographs, medical notes, and evidence, and asking people to leave me alone on Tuesday after 48 hours of no sleep, multiple calls to the crisis team, and a barrage of harassment from his friends and family who want to sue me for character defamation. If this was a regular affair, I'd lick my wounds and move on, but I've now learned I've been leaving my daughter alone with a drug addict who is claiming he doesn't know me or his daughter to others, but demanding custody rights to me. Tens of women have now come forward who have also dated him during our relationship with no idea of me or each other. This is obviously really upsetting, but what upsets me the most is that I begin to notice a very worrying pattern. He has told every single one of these women that he has cancer and can't get them pregnant. I said my labor and delivery was difficult. I was induced due to an infection that I had. My GP had told me I had an STI, and although I understood and took the treatment and was induced, my madly in love pregnancy brain never accepted that it was an STI until I went back this week and checked my hospital discharge notes, and it was there in big, bold letters: sensitive, partner STI. He has been telling women that he has cancer and can't get them pregnant, so they don't need protection, which led to an STI, which almost killed me and his daughter in labor, and wasn't even there to be with us because he was sleeping with a young girl who also believes that he has cancer. I decided to let everyone know that he, in fact, does not have cancer by using screenshots of his mom's messages. All the women he has slept with to make sure they take a pregnancy and an STI test, all his friends who he has been guilting for years over his condition, and also social services and the police for sexual endangerment. Me and my daughter now have safeguarding in place for us from local organizations for women leaving abusive relationships, so I feel very safe to reveal the truth about him and make sure all of his partners are safe and informed, seeing as he couldn't uphold his legal obligation of declaring an STI. I guess his postpartum girlfriend will do it for him. I have also had contact from many of his old friends, band members, and ex-partners who have all gave me testimonies to use for the police and as backup for if his mother does in fact try to sue me. This man has been lying and manipulating women for over 9 years. So far, everyone is now aware of his lies, and I'm waiting for my in-person meeting with the police. I can't imagine any updates from here, as it will only be a legal battle that probably can't be shared, but if anything else of interest comes to, I will make sure to write about it. Oh, also, my partner is a primary school teacher. Oh, that is actually so crazy. No, thanks. That's insane. Yeah, you should have absolutely let everyone know. I would have done the exact same thing, girl. Like, that's, first of all, illegal. You need to disclose that you have an STI, brethren. And also, you're insane for lying about having cancer. Some of the comments: he is one sick cookie. Report him to the Department of Education. OP said, it's come to light this week that his ex-partners have been reporting him for years to no avail. His mom is on the school board and her best friend is his head teacher. I'm hoping with the added element of social services this time and an investigation into child endangerment for our daughter, they can't sweep it under the carpet any longer. Someone said make it public, make sure parents know, and that the head of the school board has been protecting him. OP said, sadly, I think parents are aware and not receiving help from the school in the situation. One woman he dated during the summer, and she realized who he was when she went to drop her child off at school in September. She's been updating me to let me know that he wasn't seen in school for multiple days after my health visitors and social worker began the reports on Monday, but he was back in half a day Friday. Yeesh. Someone said OP is likely from the UK from their vocab choice, but yes, I agree, whatever the equivalent is. Oh, because I think someone was saying, asking why they were saying ma'am instead of mom, because she was spelling it M-A-M, but I was assuming she just meant mom. OP said, we're in the UK. His complaints have been escalated to LADO in the past, which is basically our version of what controls the school's judgment over any dangerous situations, but nothing's happened. One of his exes have gave me all of the details of their report to push that they ignored her, and it's escalated to this. I mean, that's insane. Someone said, what about the media? They love juicy stories, which honestly, go on the news and be like, hmm, this is what's happening. Because that's honestly giving like crazy reality documentary, like the Tinder swindler or some shit. Okay. The next story. My husband had me blow him during my labor at the hospital and told me that it was for me more than him. As the birth of our second daughter is nearing, I get flashbacks to my firstborn's birth. I was induced due to a cholestis with Cervidil and then a Foley balloon for 3 days until my water broke. After a failed epidural and a second one in place, I was told a C-section would be best as the baby's head was getting coned. My cervix wouldn't dilate and baby could go into distress, especially since there was meconium in my water. Needless to say, incredibly traumatic. But what my mind goes back to is after 2 to 3 days of not eating, having back to back painful contractions, tolerating a painkiller shot every couple of hours that hurt more than the epidural for me, and being in labor for so long, my husband coerced me into giving him a blowjob at the hospital, all drugged up and while in extreme pain. Not only that, but wasn't even thankful and acted like it was for me. He told me that it helped distract me from the pain and praised me for it. I thought I had done right as a wife, but looking back, it seems not okay. It makes me feel icky and sad. I just feel sick about it, and I can't shake this skin crawling feeling I have right now. Edit, I served him divorce papers last month, suing for full custody. He only gets supervised visits due to his alcoholism, going for exclusive possession of the home and getting a restraining order. Edit 2, wow, I did not think that this would blow up. I'm very grateful for a lot of this eye-opening comments I've read and all of the support. I've explained how I got pregnant the second time, so please find the comment with the info if you're curious. I'm trying to answer the questions I see and doubts to clarify, but there are so many. I'm so sorry I'm not responding to all. Again, thank you to everyone who has been kind and sent positivity my way. I appreciate all of you. It's made me feel less alone and has been very validating. Oh, okay. Sexual deviant. That is so insane to me. And I'm so glad that you are divorcing him and suing him and doing all that you possibly can to get this man out of your life because honestly, like, that's kind of, is that not kind of like SA to coerce someone while they're like drugged up to do sexual acts for you? I honestly feel like it is. Okay, some of the comments. On a retro gaming forum a few years ago, there was a discussion about work ethics. One guy piped in that he was so dedicated to his work that when his wife was in labor giving birth to their first child that he took his laptop with him and worked throughout the entire birthing. And I mean the entire thing. He was intensely proud of this. He was even more proud of the fact that he was back at work the next day. He was also shocked that not one person in the forum was in agreement with him. That was previously the worst thing I've ever heard a husband/partner do to their wife/partner at a birthing. Your story is so many orders of magnitude worse than working through the birth of your first child is tame in comparison. What your husband did is horrific whilst you were under the influence and he should be serving time for SA. It feels like something out of a shock movie. This is honestly one of the worst things I've ever read. And then someone said, we've caught men having sex with their wives in the hospital after delivery, had to re-stitch one woman. Okay. That makes me actually have chills and feel like a pain in my body. What? Oh my God. You ripped the stitches? I'm actually so concerned for men. Ugh, I'm so concerned for men. Like, I just don't understand why they were made with this, like, obsession with sex. Like, it really is just something to study because please, there needs to be some type of treatment to make men not be obsessed with sex because obviously that's like something that leads to SA because men just need it so bad that they're just like animals and it's honestly so scary and I just feel like what can we do? Like how do we even address that? Because first of all, I don't know, just men in society are so like praised and then women are so not praised and they're put down and made to be liars if they come forward with being SA'd, and just, ugh, like, what's the solution for this kind of thing? Because SA just seems far too common, and it's not supposed to be. Like, it's honestly scary that the amount of women that get SA'd, and then not only that, but if you think of it like, oh, if you even think of it statistically, that's not even including all the women that don't come forward and that probably go to the grave with that information. So it's like probably double it. And then that's really the truth. It just, it baffles me. It really baffles me. And it's just so sad to me. But thank God that she's doing what's best for her and getting that man far, far away from her. And then the supervised visits, like, honestly, hopefully the court is just like, no. Like, hopefully the court is just like, this man is relentless. He's crazy and, like, doesn't deserve to be around his kids, to be honest. Because what kind of mental fuckery are you saying right now? You're distracting her from her C-section? Huh? Because let me tell you, I wouldn't be engaging in sexual activity for so long after, and if my husband said anything about it, no. Sorry, I just gave birth. And either way, even if I gave birth naturally or if I had a C-section, like, you are on my time. And that's that. End of story. Zip, zilch. Like, I'm recovering from literally birthing, making, forming, and birthing a full human being from my body. So, there just needs to be some, like, what is the capital punishment for a man that doesn't, that treats his pregnant wife like this, or his newly, what am I saying? His newly not pregnant but just gave birth wife like this. There needs to be some type of, like, capital punishment for that. Okay, the next story is titled, My Husband Doesn't See How His Work Wife is Trying to Destroy Our Marriage. I, 31 female, am at my wit's end with my husband's 32 male coworker, Sarah, 30 female, and his complete inability to see what's happening. I'm not usually one for Reddit, but I need to know if I'm going crazy here. Where do I even start? 3 years ago, my husband Mark started working with Sarah. At first, I tried to be welcoming. I invited her to our barbecues, included her in group outings, and genuinely tried to be friendly. Big mistake. She spent the entire time making backhanded comments about everything from my career. Oh, you're just a yoga instructor? How peaceful. To my cooking. I guess not everyone can master basic seasoning. The real problem is that Mark thinks she's just being funny. Last month, she literally threw away the anniversary mug I gave him because it clashed with the office aesthetic. When I got upset, Mark said I was being too sensitive and that Sarah just has high standards for office decor. It was a mug with our wedding photo on it. Some greatest hits from Sarah. 1. She scheduled a mandatory work dinner on our anniversary. 2. She convinced Mark not to take a promotion because it would mean working with a different team. 3. She posts daily photos of them together with hashtags like work power couple and work spouse. She tells everyone at their office that she takes better care of him than I do. And lastly, she changed his coffee order and now tells everyone she trained him right. The worst part is, my husband is completely blind to all of this. Yesterday, he actually told me how Sarah said our new house, which we spent months searching for, was charming in a starter home kind of way. He repeated this while laughing. I tried talking to him about it, but Sarah has convinced him I'm just insecure. She's managed to insert herself into every aspect of our lives. They text constantly, even on weekends. She knows his schedule better than I do. She rearranged his entire desk and office wardrobe because his style was too suburban husband. That's what he is. Last week, I suggested marriage counseling. He looked genuinely confused. He, of course, went and talked to Sarah about it, and I found out from another coworker that she's been telling people that Mark and I are going through a rough patch, and that she's just being a good friend by giving him someone to talk to. We weren't going through anything until she started this nonsense. The breaking point? I stopped by his office to surprise him with lunch. I know, but it was his birthday, and Sarah was supposedly out sick. Guess who was there? Sarah. She'd miraculously recovered and bought him a cake that said to my work hubby with a photo of them from the office holiday party. She saw me and said, "Oh, Amy, you came too. How nice. Mark, you didn't tell me your real wife was coming. I'm not crazy, right? This woman is trying to destroy my marriage while my husband stands there grinning like it's all some big joke. What do I do? Divorce seems extreme, but I'm running out of options here. Oh, yucky, yucky, yucky. This is giving actually terrible vibes. And who's to say they're not actually dating? Because if you tell me that these people haven't banged in the work bathroom, I don't believe you. I simply don't believe that. There is something else going on. And why is it so common for partners to not be on their wife's side? Like, just how about you be a normal human being? Like, how do you not realize that that's actually insane to just laugh it off and be like, she's just joking. She's just joking. No, she's obviously not. She's literally a bitch, one. And two, she's obsessed with you, which maybe you like, but I don't know, kind of scary and seems like a problem when you literally have a wife. You have a wife. What is your problem? Like, I don't understand. You're not, like, what are you? You're honestly scum of the earth if you don't protect your wife in situations like this and other things. You need to, I don't even know. Just don't have a work wife. Period. Point blank. It's really not that hard. If my, I swear to God, if my boyfriend ever came home and said my work wife, or or even just referred to a woman at his work as his work wife with anyone else, and I heard that and it got back to me, what? Like, my foot would be up his ass because bye, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? You clearly have problems because, I mean, hello, I'm right here. You do not, why are you having a work wife? Like, I just don't understand why men think that that's okay, or anyone for that matter, because I know that some women, obviously, women also have work husbands, but I'm assuming this girl is not married because it's seeming like that, but at the same time, she could be. Lord only knows. It's just so crazy. I don't know what you do because honestly, like, I think that you genuinely, I don't, you've probably already done this though, like had a very serious sit down talk with him. If he doesn't understand that, then yes, you go to couples counseling, you have a mediator there while you tell him how you feel, and the mediator can help you talk to him and see if he understands. And if he doesn't understand how actually fucked up it is that this woman is treating you like this, then that's really at the end of the story. Like, obviously, yeah, you can try to make things better, but then at some point there's just going to be a time where you have to give up and you can't make things better because he's not willing to put in the effort, and you can't be putting in all the effort because nothing's going to change then. Okay. Edited to add, I should have stated that the promotion wasn't one that would increase his salary, but his title. It would give him more leadership experience. It still blows my mind that he turned it down just so he could stay on the same team as her. I should have told the mug story in its entirety, but she accidentally broke the mug. I noticed it was gone when I was visiting him one day, and I asked him about it. He said she accidentally knocked it over, and then later he repeated a joke she made about how it didn't fit the office aesthetic. Some of the comments are saying Sarah would not be able to sabotage your marriage if your husband wasn't allowing it. Honestly, so real. Because the husband is way more at fault for letting this be a thing and letting her do this and say these things and act this way. Someone said, exactly. There's always going to be women like this out here. It's how your husband reacts that is the problem. His blatant and constant disrespect is totally unacceptable, and the fact that he's ignoring your feelings on this means that you need to now make him see how serious you are. If you don't change up how you're reacting and show him you mean business, he's not changing at this point. And the fact that he doesn't see what he's doing is wrong is just scary to me. And like, even if he does see what he's doing is wrong, I would hope that he could make some changes, and then like the first step is like him being like, yeah, you're right, this is messed up. But if he's just going to continue to say that she's just joking, we're just silly, we're just being silly, then there's really nothing, like, what can you do about it other than just accept it and be like, okay, whatever. But that's just not a life to live, and that's not the type of husband or partner that you want to have. But it's just so annoying that like there's these things that just don't seem like divorce seems too extreme for something like this, because it's almost like divorce has to be something more serious. But honestly, if someone's treating you like this and your husband is letting them, and not only just letting them and almost encouraging it and just being like and defending the work wife over you, there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can say until it's like, okay, well, this is it then. This is all I can do. This is all I can say to you to make you realize how messed up this is. And that's, I think after that, you just kind of have to accept that the relationship is over, honestly. But I don't know, I hate him so much and I hate her so much. I hate that woman at work. Like, I hate her. I can't believe that is real and not just like in a TV show, because honestly that doesn't even seem real to me. In the way that, oh my gosh. You deserve cruel and unusual punishment for that. Genuinely. But anyways, that's the end of that mini episode. Let me know what you thought about those, because that was like actually insane. And if you haven't already, press the like button, the subscribe button, and again, leave a comment below. Also, all the links in the description below. There's a Spotify if you guys ever want to listen like while you're on the road or something. Go follow on there, and while you're there, rate me 5 stars if you can, because it really helps. But anyways, you guys are the best, and thank you so much for listening. I genuinely appreciate and love every single one of you guys, and I just am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy that you guys are here, and I'm so happy to be able to like because I love seeing all the comments when people are like, oh, I do this while I'm listening to you, and it just makes it so much easier, and I love listening when I'm doing this, and blah blah blah. And I love that, because I do the same things with my favorite podcasters and my favorite creators, and it genuinely makes me feel so much less alone when I'm doing things, because it makes me feel like I'm hanging out with friends. And that's really only like that's the only thing that I could like wish and hope that I was giving you guys as well. So hearing that type of feedback is like my favorite. And yeah, I love you guys. Bye. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.